Hey guys, it's Crystal with Pure, and just really fast, I wanted to give you a quick tip on how to customize your actions depending on your level of expertise with Photoshop and also with particular actions. Sometimes when we create actions, we need to relay a set of certain instructions to you that pertains to that particular action. And as you use that action more and more, you don't need to be reminded on how to use that action. You don't need to be reminded on make sure you lower the opacity and what size brush to use and so on. And it can be annoying and cumbersome to have to deal with those directions after you know exactly what to do. So I'll go ahead and show you how to get rid of that. So one particular action is our Just a Pinch action. In our Just a Pinch set, we have a pinch of makeup touch-up. If you click play, it's going to give you a set of directions that says, for cheeks, make sure that it's a white brush, at least the size of the cheeks. For eyes, keep it small. For lips, the size of the lips, so on. You hit continue, and then you can go ahead and edit your action. So I'll go ahead, and what I do is once I know exactly what I'm doing, and I've done this on a million photos, I can click a pinch of makeup touch-up and click this little arrow triangle next to it, and then find the word that says stop, and then next to it, unclick that check mark. And you'll notice immediately as soon as I do, it turns this red for the check mark next to the action name and the check mark next to the set name. And all that's telling you is that inside the set of Just a Pinch, where is it at? I just missed it. Right here. There is an action that has a step turned off. And to find that action, you just find the one that's got the red check mark, and then you can click it and see what step it is. Sometimes if the action is open like this and you're editing and you're clicking a lot, you might accidentally click one of those and turn it off, and it might break the action. And so that's a quick way to see if maybe that's a quick fix for you. So now that I've unclicked it, I can go ahead and just hit play, and it runs through the action and doesn't remind me what to do. Because, again, I've done this multiple times, and so I know exactly what to do. So I'll use a white brush. I'll click up here on the mask, make my brush smaller with the bracket keys next to the letter P, and I'll toggle with the letter X between white and black, and I want a white brush, and I'll lower the opacity. And again, for eyes, I use small, just kind of come in there like so. And on the lips. And you can lower the strength right here too. And then I'll lower the opacity even more and make my brush bigger. And just brush that on right there. And so all it did was just kind of touch up the makeup there a little bit. So I'll just Shift Command E to merge that. And I'll come over to my history tablet and I'll take a snapshot. Because I'm going to show you an action where it is not okay to turn off those stops. There are some actions that we create where those stops are actually vital parts of the action, and it will vastly change the outcome of the action if you turn them off. So if you come down here to your second Sky Swap set and hit and find the action Illusion, it's in CC and above. So if you have elements or CC and below, this action does not work in your platform. So if you hit play, it's going to give you a set of instructions on what to do. And so this one, the first one says erase off clients. There's not an option to continue because we want you to erase off the clients and to customize that step to your look. So if you hit stop, and then I'm going to use a big black brush, so toggle with the X, and I'm going to raise this up here, and I'm going to brush it off of them, and then I'm going to lower the overall opacity a little bit, and like this. And if I feel like I brushed off maybe too much, I can toggle with white and brush it back on. And I will lower the opacity to like 30, and then a black brush and brush it off a little bit there. But you can see it's still doing something, and so if I'm happy with that, then I click play. And the next step is going to be the same type of thing. It's affecting the overall coloring of the image, so I'll go ahead and just brush a little bit on them and then raise them up to 100% and brush it off overall. And I'm happy with the way that looks. I like the color change. And then hit play. I'm not going to add a sunburst to this image because realistically, there would never be a sunburst coming out of a rock wall. I mean, I can't think of an instance. Maybe there is somewhere, but in this particular image, it wouldn't look real. So I'll just go ahead and hit play and act like I did add one. The lens, it works really well on pictures like this where there's already some in-camera blur. So I'll go ahead and raise this up to 100% and brush it off of them for sure. And then I'll maybe lower this down to like 50% or so. But I love just the little extra, softness that it adds to the image, and then hit play. And then this is going to say lower the opacity, dodge and burn, so on and so on. And in this action set, there's actually a download to a video that shows you how to do this. So I'll just go ahead and act like I did that and then hit play. This says use the sponge tool. So I'll just come over here to the sponge tool and I can lower the opacity a little bit and just kind of sponge on a little bit to add some color. If I want to lower the strength of that, I can do that and then hit play. And then this part of the action works best on greens, but it is also changing the color of the rocks a little bit, so I can lower the strength of that if I want, and then hit play. And then this is saying to brush off the clients, especially if you added a sun flare, you brush off in the direction of the sun flare or in the direction of the light. I'll just go ahead and make my brush super big. And then I'll use a black brush and just brush it like this. And I feel like that is good. And lower the opacity just a little bit and then hit play. Alright, so this is the image that we have. This is the edit. So we went from that to this. And I'll show you now what happens if I turn off all these stops. So if I come in here, I just click this little arrow again. If I come in here, I'll go ahead and find all the words that say stop. And you can see, you know right away if it's a stop because it's going to have this thing right here. So stop, 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 and stop. Okay. So now, if I was getting annoyed with all those stops, and then I hit play, this is not going to be a very pretty image when we're done. Just let it do its thing. We don't have very many actions like this. I can only think of maybe one or probably two where turning off the stops would actually affect the outcome of the image, of the action. And there we go. So this is what you ended up with. So this is what we ended up with by using the stops. And if we turn those stops off, that's what we ended up with. So as you can tell, it's more beneficial, obviously, to keep these stops on. And so I can just come in here now and find these little boxes again and just click these back on. Because obviously that is not what I want my image to look like. So if you have any questions, let me know. That is just a simple way to customize your actions, especially as you learn what those actions are doing and you use them multiple times. There's no reason to keep some of those stops open, and it's super easy to turn off. So if you have any questions, let me know.